Have you ever felt like you were living a life that wasn't truly yours? Waking up every day, trapped in the same routine, only to survive, but never to live? So many people carry this quiet despair, never realizing that there is a way out. This feeling of emptiness, of waking up with no excitement, is not a personal failure. It is the soul calling for change. Today, I want to share with you an emotional and inspiring story that may awaken something inside of you. It is the story of Miguel, a man who was drowning in debt, loneliness, and frustration, until he discovered the truth of the law of attraction. Miguel's life was the perfect reflection of what many people feel every day: hopelessness. He worked tirelessly, but nothing ever seemed to improve. His life felt stuck, heavy, and repetitive. But what if I told you that this very feeling of being stuck is not the end, but the beginning of transformation? By the end of this video, you will discover the exact secrets Miguel used to completely shift his reality. These are not abstract theories. They are practical, spiritual principles that you too can apply in your own life, starting today. And here's the most important part: the story does not just belong to Miguel. It belongs to anyone willing to open their heart and trust the universe. Perhaps you are going through challenges, debts, heartbreaks, or uncertainty about the future. Maybe you've tried everything, and yet nothing seems to work. But I want you to know that change is possible. The energy you carry inside has the power to transform everything outside. So stay with me until the very end, because the most powerful and emotional part of Miguel's story comes in the final minutes, and it may just touch your soul in ways you don't expect. This is not just a story to listen to. It's an invitation to awaken your own inner power. And as you listen, imagine yourself walking side by side with Miguel, because every step of his transformation reflects the potential that lives within you too. And before we dive in, take a moment to set your intention. Close your eyes for a second, breathe deeply, and whisper to yourself, "I trust the universe." Then, open the comments and write, "I trust the universe." This simple act is more than just words. It's the beginning of alignment. It's the first declaration that tells life you are ready to change. Let's begin. The initial struggle. Miguel was a hard-working young man, but no matter what he did, life always seemed to push him down. His job left him exhausted and uninspired, barely enough to cover the bills. Every month, more debts appeared, and the weight of financial pressure felt unbearable. The harder he tried to run ahead, the heavier his chains became. It was as though life was laughing at his efforts, keeping him trapped in a cycle of scarcity. His relationships were shallow and unfulfilling. People came and went, but no one stayed. Friends didn't truly understand his pain, and romantic connections faded quickly, leaving him with an even deeper sense of loneliness. On the surface, Miguel seemed to function. He went to work, paid bills, smiled politely. But inside, he was crumbling. A silent storm was brewing in his chest, made of hopelessness and quiet resignation. The real problem was not only his circumstances. The deeper wound lay in what he believed about himself. Miguel repeated to himself daily, "Nothing works out for me. I'll never get ahead. I don't deserve more." These were not just thoughts, they were chains. Every repetition carved them deeper into his subconscious mind, like a prison of beliefs. And as you know, the mind is a magnet. The more he repeated these thoughts, the more life mirrored them back in the form of disappointments and failures. Perhaps you too have felt like Miguel, waking up each day without excitement, just going through the motions, living in autopilot, disconnected from who you truly are. You might look around and see other people thriving, while you ask yourself, why not me? Why is my life always harder? These are not just questions of despair. They are the soul's call for awakening. They are the whispers that tell you, there is more. Miguel didn't know it yet, but this emptiness was not his end. It was the dark night before dawn. His suffering was not punishment, but preparation. Life was about to present him with a choice: to keep repeating his prison of thoughts, or to awaken and create a new reality. And as you will see, what seemed impossible became inevitable once he opened his heart to a different perspective. One night, scrolling aimlessly through the internet, Miguel stumbled upon a talk about spirituality and the law of attraction. At first, he dismissed it as just pretty words. His skeptical mind wanted to resist. But then, one single phrase caught his heart and refused to let go: "What you think about every day becomes your reality." Those words echoed like a whisper from the universe. Miguel couldn't shake them off. Could it be true that his suffering was not fate, but the result of his own thoughts? Could it be that the universe wasn't against him, but simply reflecting back the energy he was sending out? For the first time in years, he entertained a new possibility. Maybe his mind was the key. This spark of curiosity was enough to open the door. And when the door opens, even slightly, light begins to enter. Driven by curiosity, Miguel decided to try. Instead of focusing on his debts, he chose gratitude for the small things: the roof over his head, the food still on his table, the chance to wake up each morning. It felt awkward at first, almost laughable, like a child pretending. But something inside him softened. Gratitude created a new vibration in his heart, and little by little, he felt lighter. He started a notebook, writing affirmations every day: "I am abundant. I am worthy of prosperity. I trust the process of life." At first, it felt silly. He even laughed at himself, thinking, "How can words change my reality?" But even before the external results appeared, something inside him began to shift. His chest felt less heavy. His nights became calmer. He felt, for the first time in years, a spark of hope. And hope is the seed of transformation. Miguel's old self, the one who believed only in failure, was starting to dissolve. A new Miguel was being born. And what began as a single phrase on a random night became the spark that ignited his awakening. The encounter with spirituality. The transformation. As days turned into weeks, Miguel built a spiritual practice. He meditated every morning, visualizing the life he longed to live. He didn't just imagine money, he imagined freedom. He pictured himself walking with confidence, speaking with joy, and feeling safe in life's embrace. These visualizations weren't empty dreams, they were rehearsals for a new reality. His affirmations became stronger, not as empty words, but as seeds of belief. With every repetition, his subconscious began to accept them. Slowly, his energy shifted. Instead of walking through life defeated, he began to walk with more confidence. His posture changed. His smile returned. His actions carried a new vibration. And as you know, the universe always responds to vibration. And it did respond. Out of nowhere, opportunities appeared. He was able to renegotiate some of his oldest debts, easing the financial pressure. Then, an unexpected job offer came, one that paid better and valued his skills. To outsiders, it looked like coincidence or luck. But Miguel knew better. This was alignment. This was the law of attraction unfolding before his very eyes. But the greatest change wasn't in the money or the opportunities. It was in how he felt. For the first time in years, Miguel felt free. Free from fear, free from despair. He felt connected to something greater, the invisible force of the universe guiding his steps. And in this state of surrender and trust, the true miracle unfolded. Miguel wasn't just changing his reality, he was changing himself. This is the hidden truth of manifestation. Life doesn't give you what you want, it gives you who you are. And as Miguel became abundant within, abundance outside became inevitable. The extraordinary outcome. In less than a year, Miguel achieved something that once felt impossible. He launched his own business, aligned with his deepest passion, helping people through spiritual coaching and personal growth. This wasn't just a career change, it was a rebirth. He went from being a man burdened by debt and despair to a man radiating hope and direction. His old identity, shaped by fear and lack, dissolved, and a new Miguel emerged, one who lived in harmony with his soul. Abundance began to flow into his life, but it wasn't just financial. Yes, money arrived more easily, but the true wealth was the people he attracted. Suddenly, he was surrounded by friends and partners who shared his vision, who uplifted him, who vibrated at the same frequency of love and authenticity. The loneliness that once consumed him disappeared, replaced by deep, meaningful relationships that nourished his heart. He built healthy connections based on trust, respect, and authenticity. For the first time in years, Miguel felt understood. He no longer needed to wear masks or pretend to be someone he wasn't. He was simply himself, and that was enough. The law of attraction had not only given him external abundance, it had guided him back to his authentic self. And when you live authentically, life opens doors you never imagined. Most importantly, Miguel found his purpose. He realized that the law of attraction was not just about asking for things. It was about becoming the person who already lives in abundance, in love, in trust. It wasn't about chasing happiness, but embodying it. This shift made all the difference. His business grew not because he was trying to succeed, but because he was living in alignment with who he truly was. Success became natural, effortless, inevitable. His life became a living testimony of spiritual truth. When you align your inner world, your outer world transforms. What once felt impossible became his reality, and the universe revealed to him a secret that had always been true. Life is not against you, it is responding to you. Miguel's story is proof that miracles are not accidents. They are the natural result of living in alignment with your true self. Miguel's journey teaches us three profound lessons. Lessons that apply to every one of us, no matter where we are right now. The first is simple but powerful. Change begins within. For years, Miguel tried to change his external circumstances without touching his inner world. He worked harder, pushed stronger, worried more. But nothing shifted until he changed his thoughts. Only when he planted new beliefs did life begin to mirror those seeds. You cannot live a new life with the same old mindset. The second lesson is this: gratitude opens doors. When Miguel was drowning in debt, the easiest thing would have been to sink deeper into despair. Instead, he chose to give thanks for the little he had. Gratitude may seem small, but it changes everything. Gratitude shifts your frequency from lack to abundance. It tells the universe, I am ready to receive more. And when you are grateful for the small things, bigger blessings naturally flow. Gratitude is the magnet for miracles. The third lesson is perhaps the most powerful. Trust is everything. At first, Miguel resisted. He tried to control life, to force things, to push against the current. But it was only when he surrendered, when he stopped fighting and began trusting, that the miracles appeared. Trust is not passive. It is an active alignment with the universe, a declaration that says, I believe life is guiding me. And when Miguel trusted, doors opened in ways he never could have planned. These lessons are not just Miguel's. They are universal laws that apply to you, to me, to everyone. They are woven into the fabric of reality. And perhaps, as you hear them, you feel something inside stir. Maybe a memory, a moment when you too felt the shift of gratitude or the peace of surrender. These lessons are reminders, not of what you must learn, but of what you already know in your soul. And here lies the truth. If Miguel could transform a life of debt, emptiness, and frustration into a life of purpose, abundance, and love, then so can you. His journey is not about special luck. It is about aligning with laws that are always at work. And the same laws that lifted him are waiting, right now, to lift you. The spiritual lessons. Transformational closing. If Miguel's story touched your heart, let this be your reminder. The universe is always listening. It hears your thoughts, it feels your energy, and it mirrors it back to you. You are never alone, never abandoned, never forgotten. The moment you decide to trust, everything begins to change. Even now, as you watch this, a new timeline is opening before you. One filled with possibilities you cannot yet see, but that are already forming in the unseen. If this story inspired you, give this video a like, because that simple act helps this message of hope reach others who are struggling right now. Somewhere, someone is feeling exactly like Miguel once did. And your like may be the reason they find this video, the reason their awakening begins. Small actions create ripples, and ripples become waves of transformation. And I want to hear from you. What part of Miguel's journey resonated with you the most? Was it his initial struggle, his first spark of hope, or his extraordinary transformation? Write in the comments, "I am ready for transformation." Let that be your declaration to the universe today. Words have power, and when you write them, you plant seeds of change. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell, so you never miss another story of spiritual awakening, manifestation, and transformation. Each week we share new lessons and stories that can help you raise your vibration and live the life you deserve. This channel is not just about content. It is about creating a community of souls rising together, remembering their power, and stepping into their true purpose. And before you go, I invite you to watch the previous video, linked right here on the screen and in the description below. It's another powerful revelation that will take your awakening even deeper. Sparkles, remember, the universe is not against you. It is waiting for you to align. Your transformation has already begun.